everybody, and welcome to your very first round of month ahead forecasts on my channel. I'm so excited to start something new. I'm at a new place. This is like a new filming studio, if you will, and I can't wait to kind of change up my offerings a little bit. And before we begin, I do want to tell you a little bit about that. First and foremost, my name is Yelena Crawford, so welcome back to anyone and everyone that was a previous subscriber. Thank you guys so much. And for anybody that hasn't met me yet, welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. And this is kind of what my channel is going to look like moving forward. So if you were not a previous subscriber, you don't need to worry about what it used to be, but I kind of have a little bit of a new content strategy. So I'm going to be getting rid of my weekly forecast completely, and I'm going to start the month couple days prior to each new month. I'm going to push out forecast videos, which are month ahead forecasts, which is what this is, for all 12 zodiac signs. So you guys can know ahead of time exactly what's happening. And if you weren't already aware, I do offer a written monthly forecast as well. And it's general. It's not by zodiac sign. It's basically all about the collective and the energies that are happening in the month ahead, which can really help you to have that written paper, right? So if you are interested in signing up for my free written cosmic guide, is what I call it, you can go to my website, yelenacrawford.com, and a little pop-up box will come up on the screen where you can enter your email address. But I promise not to spam. I don't really send a whole lot. I maybe inform you guys of new videos or any new offerings I might have or whatever, but that's pretty much it. And then on top of these monthly forecasts, what I plan to do is obviously full and new moon videos, you know, and horoscopes for those as they come along. But also I want to start breaking down significant transits throughout the month. So as the energies are kind of coming in and passing, I want to really dive in and hone in and talk about those as they come along, so we can kind of follow the transits together. So I want to make this really interactive. I may end up doing a lot of lives for some of these things too, but I will definitely make sure to let you guys know ahead of time. And then another one of my offerings is on Instagram, and I've been really kind of amping that up, and I've been doing daily astrology updates. So if you guys really want to follow the astrology on a daily basis as you learn and as it helps you with your own life, then I would highly suggest adding me over at Yelena Crawford Astrology on Instagram as well. I'm going to have stories and daily posts so you guys can keep up to date with the astrology in many different ways. Also, this is a general forecast, and I want to make that very clear that yes, I'm breaking this down by your rising sign. So that kind of sets up the chart, and I'm able to kind of see some of the in and out energies and the different themes that might be brought into focus for you over the next month. But your individual birth chart is what gets activated by these transiting energies. And our birth charts are all completely different. So while this might be hitting somebody and really bringing out positive potential with some of these transits, it could also be really exacerbating a negative portion of someone else's chart. So just keep that in mind. And if you are someone who is maybe navigating big changes and you want to make more sense of it, then contact me for a personal reading. I would highly suggest getting a reading with me or whatever astrologer you deeply resonate with. You can also do that through my website, yelenacrawford.com. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all the announcements for right now. So let's get into the forecast. Aries rising, hi, and happy April 2022. So let's dive right in and see what this month has in store for you. I do see an overall general theme of kind of stepping into a new element of who you are, a new form of independence, having a little bit more assertion or self-confidence. That's definitely a theme where there's definitely an emphasis as well on your career path, what you're doing in your career, and the people that you're associated with, whether that be friends, groups, or partners, business partners, whatever that might entail. Now, there could also be some dynamics that pop up throughout the month that have a lot to do with your finances and how you're maneuvering those areas of the chart as well, considering the fact that it's eclipse season and the eclipses are in your money houses right now. So that's kind of exciting. You have an opportunity to make some big changes or to have some significant developments with the way that you bring in resources and the reliance that you might have on other people or other things with money related matters in general. So let's go ahead and start off with the very beginning of the month, Aries. So for you, April 1st, you have a brand new moon, which is a fresh start, entering new territory, or maybe having some ideas, since this new moon is conjunct Mercury, which is all about the mind, ideas, or maybe we receive some news of something new that is potentially being seeded or starting relative to who you are and how you operate out in the world. So Aries is a sign of strength. It's a sign of courage. People who are not afraid to take the initiative, make the first move, go it their own way, and really kind of stand in their power. So because this new moon is happening right next to Chiron, which is known as the wounded healer in astrology, it's that part of us or whatever we're working through that has something to do with maybe a wounding or insecurities or a fear or something like that that we've been significantly working towards. Well, this new moon is working in tandem with Chiron. And since Chiron is still maintaining a same degree that it was at for a really long time, I don't think that this is necessarily anything new that might come up for us. I feel like this is almost a graduation moment of some sort where we're feeling really strong in who we are, or you're feeling really strong in who you are, and you're able to kind of take life by the reins, if you will, and charge forward on this new path, on this new trajectory of whatever it is that you're doing. Now, we must take into consideration at the time of this new moon, Mars is the ruler of Aries, so that's going to be what's called the dispositor of this lunation. So it's very much associated with these new beginnings that are taking fold. But we must remember Mars is kind of in a challenging dynamic right now as it's coming into contact with Saturn, which is a wall, right? So Mars wants to go fast, it wants to take initiative, it wants to start things now. So this might have you really eager or really excited about stepping into a new role of some sort, or maybe it has something to do with really working through some of the healing so that you can, step into this more independent version of yourself. But this is saying that there's maybe a slowdown that needs to take place, where some restructuring needs to be brought into focus, because on April 4th, Mars will conjunct Saturn in your 11th house of friends, the groups that you're affiliated with, as well as your long-range goals and plans for the future. So I don't know if maybe there's some restructuring with Saturn ruling over structures that you need to slow down and kind of focus on during this time, because Mars is also the ruler of the South Node, which happens to be in your 8th house of your obligations to other people, whether they be energetic or financial. But this is also a place of deep healing as well. So there could be a challenge here that's a little bit more frustrating, feels restricting or limiting in some way, that brings up frustration, anger, tension, or anxiety within you, related to maybe some of your closest relationships, your friendships, the groups that you're affiliated with. Or maybe you're feeling like some of the plans that you've been trying to execute are somehow slowing down and you're not able to take initiative as fast as you would have liked to. Maybe this has something to do with a debt that needs to be paid off or released, or an obligation to someone else that somehow needs to be restructured or thought out in a different way. Whatever this might be, it is fast passing energy, so that is always a positive, right? Because as the days pass, Mars will break free from this difficult stop and go type of energy with Saturn in your house of friendship and long range goals and plans. But ultimately, whatever this dynamic is for you, it's making a sextile to this new moon energy in your first house and your ascendant and everything like that, especially if your ascendant is anywhere between 20 to 29 degrees of Aries, right? So ultimately what this is doing is it's really helping you to kind of stand in your power and take initiative towards changing whatever it needs to be, whatever needs to change. So I really do like this energy. Now that Mars-Saturn conjunction is also going to be squaring the nodes of fate. So that is a little bit more challenging. Like I said, the nodes are in your 2nd and 8th house of money, right? All the money. So this could be a significant development in the plot line of what's going on with you in your life right now, where you come up against a roadblock and you have to make some sort of change. You have to maybe slow down the plans that you had to take care of something that might be financial in nature. And maybe the focus needs to be on really figuring out how you can grow and expand your finances, how you can rely on yourself more to bring in income and really start to build wealth and structure your goals and plans around that more so. So that's just one little tip of advice that I have for you. Also, this would never be hurtful to do whatever it takes to work on building your own worth, the feelings that you have that you deserve it, and work around any money blockages that may potentially be in the way here, because the second house is also about the way that we value ourselves. So I think working on your own worth would definitely help to clear the way for having a better relationship with money and finances, which could really help you in the long term with your goals anyways. Okay, moving on to April 5th, what I really like is that the energy almost starts to take a little bit of a turn. So we have a mixed bag of challenge and stress and tension and having to make big changes, because this is Aries season and it's all about pivoting, right? This is the time of the year when we shift completely into spring, and you guys are very familiar with this energy. You're not afraid to make those changes, but stress could definitely be applied. But there's some magic that's taking place amongst all of this, because we've got Pisces, which is going to enter this Venus, which is the planet of our interpersonal relationships with others, our desires, the way that we magnetize things towards us. And it's also has a lot to do with our money, and it's the ruler of the North Node in your second house of money. So it's going to be moving into Pisces, into your 12th house, which says that maybe there's some magic that needs to take place behind the scenes. You might be working on some type of spiritual project, or you might be studying spiritual modalities of some sort, anything that's very Piscean in nature, energy healing, meditation, astrology could even be within that as well, or even just working with people in a compassionate, service-oriented, or therapeutic way. These are all definite possibilities that maybe something is forming behind the scenes. You might not be able to see the whole picture yet, but it's going to require a certain level of trust that comes from you and surrender that there are hands at play here that can't necessarily be seen or heard or felt or touched, right? So just know this is all forming behind the scenes. You're undergoing a major spiritual process, because as we advance a little bit further, on April 12th, Jupiter, the planet of our consciousness, the way that we expand in life, whatever it touches, it expands. It's a very spiritual planet. It's all about higher knowledge, teachers, and educational pursuits. It's a lucky planet full of abundance. It's like a Santa Claus kind of energy. It's coming into contact with Neptune, which is very much a 12th house energy, and it's happening in your 12th house. So this is like another breakthrough spiritual awakening moment. Where maybe you're able to step a little bit further into your purpose work, which has something to do with 12th house institutions, hospitals, ashrams, retreat centers, healing modalities, spirituality. It could have to do with like leaving the body, astral travel. Like you could be having some really crazy magical experiences right now that kind of shape your beliefs and the way that you see the world. Maybe you have a complete change in your religious and spiritual beliefs. Maybe you are completely restructuring your morals and your values and all of those things, because Jupiter does rule over your 9th house. So maybe this could also be an opportunity to go on some crazy retreat or do some long distance travel where you are going to heal deeper on a very deep level, but you're also having some crazy synchronistic magical spiritual experiences as well that are helping to teach you and shape you in ways that you could have never believed were possible. So this is really great energy. I would highly suggest taking time to yourself, rest, retreat, getting adequate sleep. Your dreams might be extra crazy right now. So those are all things to definitely take into consideration. And this is a brand new Jupiter-Neptune cycle. So whatever you're starting right now is going to be very pivotal for the next 12 years, you guys. All right, then we've got a full moon in Libra on April 16th. This is going to be in your 7th house, the house of long-term partnership. Any conscious, intimate relationship that we choose to be involved with, whether that be platonic, love-related, business-related, whatever it might be. For you, these might be spiritual relationships, because Venus, which is the ruler of Libra, is in your 12th house. This can also be the ending of a relationship, or a closing out of a chapter of a way in which we were at once relating to other people. So this can be very spiritual in nature, since you are shifting spiritually, since there is a lot shifting deep within you, things that are going on behind the scenes. You are completely transforming maybe the way that you operate with your clients, or maybe your business partnerships, because there is a lot of activation with Pluto moving through your 10th house house of career as well. We just had a lot of dynamics going on that were a little bit more stressful with the Venus retrograde up there, and Pluto will retrograde at the end of the month, which is having you kind of re-strategize your business partnerships, maybe your relationship with your bosses or people in positions of power and authority over you. So all of this is kind of being reworked as well right now. Now, this is a little bit more of a challenging full moon too, since it makes that, it's making a T-square dynamic with Pluto in the 10th house. So there could be some power struggles at this time requiring you to kind of transform your relationship with people in positions of power and authority over you. Maybe you decide to cut something away altogether, or maybe there's something that really needs to be transformed or reworked within you, and there's still some healing that needs to be taken place in order for those relationships to really transform. You may also have to make some sort of decision at this time to either adjust or maybe release a relationship altogether, which will significantly transform what you're doing out in the world, how you're known, or what you're doing for work and your career. So that's something to definitely take into consideration. This full moon is really one of the other dynamics of the month that seems maybe as it could be a bit, maybe that it could be a bit stressful, but I don't think that it's anything that you're not able to manage. On the April 19th, Taurus season starts. So the sun enters your second house of money, finances, and resources, really shifting your perspective onto these dynamics, bringing those to light. And this could be a time period, depending on how it's being aspected in your personal chart, where maybe money starts to flow a little bit more. You could actually start to see the repercussions of the North Node, which is a gain or an increase in energy, being highlighted here, where maybe you do get some sort of positive income of abundance that's coming from somewhere, right? Now the sun does rule over your 5th house of things that you do because you love to do them. They bring you joy. They allow you to use your talents and your abilities that you brought into this world with you. So maybe you are starting to figure out how to monetize what it is that you love to do, right? And that can be a really beautiful thing. Maybe this is kind of what's stemming from those transformations and changes that you made in your career department. And this is something that's positive that's happening. So eventually, as the month proceeds, the sun will hit the North Node and Uranus, which could bring some significant changes and developments within the money houses. So I really like this as well. Now, as we move further on April 26th, Mercury does enter its pre-shadow retrograde period. So it's not retrograde yet, but it starts to traverse the degrees through which it will later move backwards through. And this is going to be happening starting in your Taurus house and then moving into the Gemini house and going back into Taurus. So this could be something, because this is all mind related, this could be setting up some territory for us to kind of completely re-strategize maybe what it is that we're doing to bring in money and income and resources. Maybe there's some other skills that we need to learn, anything that's very 3rd house related, which has a lot to do with education, teaching, skills, information. It could have to do with websites or things that we sell, offerings of some sort, our daily communications with other people, plans and strategies, daily busyness. Maybe you need to re-strategize your daily schedule. Maybe there's some things that need to be organized differently in the office. So there's a lot of work that's going to be done. Now that's more so something that we're going to discuss more in May, because that's when the retrograde will actually occur. But I just wanted to make you aware that these circumstances will start being set up and you may not even realize it related to the retrograde that's coming. So then we move to Pluto retrograde, which is kind of rounding out the end of the month. This is on April 29th. Pluto only retrogrades once per year. And the last time it came out of retrograde was October of 2022. So this is actually making hard aspects to your ascendant and any placements that your ascendant, descendant, and it could be possibly touching some of your midheavens, so which is your career point in your chart. So your identity, your career, your relationships, and your home zone could be up for a major transformation. There may be some adjustments that need to be made. Now, Pluto is a planet of transformation, which sometimes that process can be a little bit more difficult and ugly. And any retrograde is going to be more of an internalized version of that. So there could be a slowdown with career-related matters where maybe there's something within you that needs to be readjusted, let go of, purged, transformed, or worked through in the months ahead, because this retrograde will last again until October of 2022. So this is a very subtle process that sometimes we don't even realize we're undergoing until much later down the road when we look back in hindsight and see all of the significant changes that were taking place. For all of you, I would definitely look at your charts and see if you have any points, ascendant, or any other personal planets, your sun, moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, between 26 and 28 degrees of the cardinal signs, which is Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, because it will be directly working with you more on a personal level in a more intense way, because it'll be moving backwards over those points. So you'll experience this on a very subtle level, but ultimately what it does is it gets you deeper to your truth so that you can start moving forward in a way that's more authentically aligned. Okay, you guys, so rounding out the month, it's eclipse season. And I really, really love this entrance into eclipse season. This Taurus partial solar eclipse is beautiful. I really like it. The Scorpio eclipse coming in May, a little bit different, but this one is all we're going to focus on right now. And I think we've had a difficult enough month. It's like really challenging, stressful dynamics mixed with magic. So I think that this is really nice. This is happening in your money house, which I love. So anything that's going on behind the scenes with these money things or any spiritual developments with business related matters, I really, really like this. Higher learning and educational pursuits that could somehow help you in some way move forward with bringing in more income or having a more stable and solid foundation for the money and resources and possessions that you have. With this Taurus eclipse, it's going to be happening at 10 degrees. And what I love about it is it's making a sextile to Mars and Pisces in the 12th house. So it's going to be really beneficial for you to definitely focus on rest and retreat. Definitely focus on your spiritual development. It could make you feel supercharged to kind of really get to the bottom of some of your subconscious tendencies, habits, patterns, and behaviors that could be holding you back. Are these things that could potentially be about maybe putting in too much effort to take care of things that you weren't maybe asked to do? Because this can definitely be that savior or victim energy. And a lot of those dynamics could certainly be coming up for you right now. This could be a time for a lot of people where you're able to deeply heal some of your addictions, habits, and patterns of escaping in unhealthy ways during this time as well. You could feel super motivated to really heal and transcend some of those things. Also, the dispositor, the ruler of this eclipse is Venus, since it's happening in Taurus. And Venus is going to be conjunct Jupiter at this time, which is the great benefic. Two benefic planets that bring the best circumstances are going to be conjoined, which could really bring beneficial connections with other people that could somehow help you or benefit you in some way with your money and resources and finances. So you might be coming together with people in some way, working on something spiritual behind the scenes that could really, really help you. Or this could just be a very deep healing with your relationship with money, your relationship with other people that somehow benefits your self-worth, your standing in your truth, and all of these things. So that's pretty much what the month looks like for you, Aries. I wish you guys a very, very good April. And the best of luck to all of you in your endeavors. It looks like a lot is going to be moving and shaking this month. And I look forward to connecting with all of you throughout the month as we break down a lot of the transits that are going to be coming in on a much deeper level. So thank you guys so very much. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to tap that like button. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how you resonate with any of these energies. It always helps me to tailor these videos to you guys in the future. But for now, peace and namaste, my friends.